snowing out. Run a little bit, channel. I'm going to go watch the Arch now, guys. Because the snow is getting pretty bad. We have to wait until at least 4 o'clock to get news, local news to be on. Around 4 or so. So we're watching the news right now. We're watching the Weather Channel right now. I don't like watching the talk. I don't like watching.
Even though we do have quite a bit of heavy rain and embedded small areas with a little bit of thunder in there, including you might be getting some thunder and some freezing rain near western North Carolina. Places like Little Rock, you're a lot colder there, that's for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised to get a flurry today. Here's a look at the rain. Atlanta, it's hitting you right now. I'm hopeful. It's 2:30 right now. I'm hopeful that most of that could be gone by the time the evening rush gets there and dinner time will be drier for you. As I mentioned, the really juicy dew points are much farther south, and so I think that's a more likely location to get severe storms. And then you can see how the instability has really begun to build, but move, through Alabama to the panhandle of Florida. These are the areas to worry about as far as the tornado threat goes. That will include torcons of 3 that extend all the way over into the Midlands of South Carolina, the Low Country, then right into eastern North Carolina as well. What does that mean if you get a torcon of 3? Severe thunderstorms are likely in those areas. A few tornadoes are possible, and tornado watches could also be issued. It's just today you want to be, extra careful and pay attention to the weather. Look more closely today than maybe other days, Alex.
How can you complain about the snow when it looks like this? This is Woodstock, Illinois, and it is pretty, right?
It's hell here in Three Rivers.
Outside your window, or I don't know what this person's driving in, but maybe it's like I don't know, it's going slow. I wanted to say golf cart, but I don't think they're as good. But yeah, maybe it's like a sled that your sled dog's pulling. The snow is not finished here in this area. Winter storm warning continues until noon tomorrow. We've got our man in Illinois, Reynolds Wolf, but Reynolds, it sure is pretty. Again, when you can observe it, you don't have to drive through it. It's really nice.
YouTube.
You are a problem. Cut that right on the problem. A guy who was waiting for a tow truck, he drove his car off the highway, was stuck in a snowdrift. There was no way for him to get out without the assistance of a wrecker. So that is going to be the big issue here, at least as we go through the next several hours. Just this heavy, wet snow. I've seen some incredible snow rates coming down with some of these squalls. So right now, roads primarily wet across northern Illinois, but as temperatures fall, we're going to see things dramatically.
Okay. Same stuff, but I'm just going to watch Mythbusters until it gets worse. I'm just going to watch Mythbusters.
Go put those on first.
Yeah, what will does.
Join the revolution on MTV. 14-volt new queens break through the noise.
I feel the presence of the season 16 winner in this room. It's me.
This season, it's ours to the queens.
That's right. Immunity is back. As movie judging each other. And that's the team. Safe queens rarely make her straight.
RuPaul's Drag Race. All new tonight at 8/7 Central. The future of drag is on MTV.
Winter weather never kept you inside. So get out there and shop the Ford Winter Wonderland sales event to find your all-season sidekick. A truck that doesn't take snow for an answer. An SUV that never gets cold feet. And the one that doesn't spend snow days inside.
I didn't do nothing to him, Mom.
New Edge with a 0.
Mom, I didn't do nothing, Mom.
60 months plus 6,000 bonus cash. Only at your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealers.
We've gone back in time and chosen a rare and valuable 1903 Darracq to be our 100th car we restore. We want to drive it in the epic London to Brighton run, but our car's not keen on coming out of retirement. The hand-built car is in need of Ed's Gimlin hand. The cooling system is boiling over. The lights aren't fit for a bicycle, and those dangerously wobbly front wheels need fixing.
Oh wow. Yeah. Look at that straight, you can really easily see. Look at that, the spokes are rattling around all over the place. And also you can see there's kind of a gap between the spoke and the rim there where it's actually pulled away, so you can see where the wood has actually sort of shrunk away. That's not looking good at all. But this would explain why it feels so wayward on the road. The front wheels have got to come off so I can inspect the rims and check the steel ball bearings, which ensure the wheels spin freely on the stop axle. With the dust cover off, I remove the split pin, and then I can crack off the castellated nut which holds the wheels bearing together precisely. The last thing to free off is the retaining plate holding the bearings in place. There's a nice little collection of balls here. Now, I was expecting these to be rather damaged. You can actually feel if there are any kind of pits or dents or flat spots, and actually they're really good nick. So I reckon if we pack these with grease again and put them back together again, and actually that bit of the stub or the axle is going to be fine. I think the wheel is another story. It's the same on the other side. The bearings are in great condition, which means I need to come up with a clever plan to sort the damaged wooden spokes and outer rims. Our wheels are made of ash and hickory, and they've dried out and split. Okay, Paul, keep that on. Okay. In the old days, they'd soak wooden wheels in a river so they absorb the water and expand again, closing the gaps. I've got to say, this is pretty weird. I have done my research, I've checked with the museum, and there isn't even a technical name for this, it's called plimming. What I'm going to do is dunk my wheel. And as I can leave these for about 48 hours, that should be enough time for the wood to swell and the wheels to be sorted. And one of the amazing things about this car is it's not that dissimilar to what you have on your drive today. It's water cooled. You can see at the bottom here, you've got this whacking great big brass water pump. And of course, that does the same job as the one in the modern car. It pumps the water around the cooling system. And you can see here you've actually got your radiator sitting in front of your engine, again like a modern car. And then you've got your hoses and your pipes just to connect the circuit. My first focus is on the radiator. If that isn't working at full capacity, then the car can overheat. So I need to remove it for inspection. I'm going to drain down the cooling system. And of course, it's quite an old car, so you'd think all the nuts and bolts would be repairable, but actually it's an old French car. And of course, they started using the metal system in about the 1800s, which means it's more likely to be metric. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be about 13 mil. And it's funny because everybody thinks that the French invented the metric system, but actually it was an English invention, a guy called John Wilkins in 1668. The system drains fast and the coolant looks in good condition. Clearly, it's recently been replaced. Classic top tip, whenever you drain something down, whether it's oil or coolant, make sure you put the drain hose back in at this stage to make sure you don't end up with stuff all over the floor later on. When the Darracq was built, they really were pioneering every aspect of car design, but they borrowed from other trades, so this pipework was probably inspired by domestic plumbing. Look at that. They're quite smart in an Edwardian home, isn't it? The radiator is full of Edwardian filth and muck, discolouring the foam. Let's have a quick check for any grit. No big chunks or anything, a few little bits and pieces. It's actually really good news. It means the radiator is fine. There were no leaks. It wasn't really blocked up either. We still know the car overheats, so I think the only other thing it could be is perhaps the water pump. Now, To get a proper look, obviously it's taken off, but you can see it's still connected up to a few bits. So the first thing I'm going to do is just undo this last pipe here. So you can see that the rubber is quite old now and beginning to crack, so I'm going to have to replace that at some point. It's quite tough, but there we go, look at that. To get access to the inside of the water pump, first need to remove the inspection cover.
Inspection cover?
You've got this kind of eccentric cam almost. Right, okay, so as you can see, as the engine turns round, what's going on is these little brass bits here are actually being flung out by a little spring in between them. We can draw the water, because as you can see, watch just down here, you can see that there's a very small chamber there. But as the whole thing rotates, so this chamber gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that actually creates a vacuum. And in the same way, of course, it's pushing the fluid back through there. So it's actually quite clever and very simple. So the problem I can see is that these little veins, if you like, are actually quite loose. Now, if I take them out, first of all, you can see the spring that pushes them apart. That gives you the seam at the edges. But looking at them closely, they're quite badly worn, so you're not getting a really good seal against the edge. Therefore, you're not getting maximum efficiency moving the coolant around the system. So I think really, these little bits of phosphor bronze here are going to need to be remade.
Join the revolution.
On MTV.
14-volt new queens break through the noise.
I feel the presence of the season 16 winner in this room. I think it's me.
This season is ours to queens.
That's right. Immunity is fast at movie judging each other. And that's the team. Safe Queens rarely make her straight.
RuPaul's Drag Race. All new tonight at 8/7 Central. The future of drag is on MTV.
Each veteran car was handmade. You can't buy parts for a water pump off the shelf. So I'm visiting an expert who does bespoke work. Oh, well, I'm in the right place. Look at these cars. Anybody around? Where's Nigel? Is that you, Nigel? How you doing, mate? I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. I recognise that. This is my, my which is incredibly heavy.
Yeah, looks like a very nice Darrett pump.
Good.
Let's see how tired it is.
Okay. Right, so what we got inside here then?
Right, so we're looking to see what wear we've got on the impeller blades here, which are sprung loaded apart, and they look pretty tired out to me.
Right, okay, that's not good news then, is it?
No,
Nigel strips the body down looking for any more damage.
the main wear we're looking for is in the shaft, and as you can see, it's very worn, especially when you look at this end.
Oh yeah, I can see it moving this end much bigger than the other way. So that's the impellers and shaft which need replacing.
We'll have to hand make all the parts.
So none of this sounds like it's going to be cheap and easy to do. How much is it going to cost?
We don't price. We work on an hourly rate, and it'll take us as long as it takes us.
Okay, well, we got an hour. Should we get on with it?
Well, we better get a move on then.
Out the back, there's a machine room full of specialist tooling, and Andrew is going to turn the water pump shaft.
Wow.
So how can you begin to make a new one of these? What's the material we're going to use?
Well, if we use this bit of steel over here.
Oh, that's heavy. Oh, great big piece of steel like this, yeah?
Yeah, and then we'll turn this, and then we'll put a slot across it, and then we'll drill holes to match the gear.
You make it sound so simple. Go for it. This is a parting saw, and it's capable of cutting through solid metal to finish the shaft.
Good, don't get too hot.
No way. That is brilliant. Yeah, let's have that. Now, I've heard the saying, knife through butter,
but that's amazing.
The impeller vanes are next on the list. A chap called Pete is prepping them, and I'm hoping I can lend a hand.
So how does it work then? First, of course, you have to add a cup, which you can do. Lift this up to 0 on there, and away you go. Look at that. And then that starts milling it down. You know, I wanted to do something like this because with this car, I just like to know that I've done something in the car. You know, it's going to last for hundreds of years, I hope, once we finish with it.
To get the Darracq back on the road, we're spending money we've earned over the years buying, restoring and selling cars. Final cost of the water pump rebuild will be £810.
The new impeller blades are finished. The ones that you helped make. It all fits nice and snug now, like it should do.
Yeah, wonderful.
The main thing is it will be ready on time.
Ready on time. That's the word I'm looking for.
You know, it's been a pleasure having your help.
That's been absolutely brilliant.
It's now just 4 weeks until we tackle the veteran car run, and we've still got the wheels to mend, a new lighting system to design for the Darracq, and the overheating problem to resolve. Will Ed be able to get it ready in time?
You get very old trying to start one of these cars.
Tip off this basketball season with Prize Picks, the easiest way to play daily fantasy. Just pick more or less on player stats like points, assists, rebounds, and more. You can win up to 25 times your cash. Go for the win across the country and flex on them with Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Visit prizepicks.com/TV for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy.
Ed, how you doing? You alright, son?
I'm good.
Wow, look at everything on exposed. Now we have a brilliant refurbished working water pump. Look at that.
That's very lovely, isn't it? It's fantastic.
I'm really proud of this because actually I did some of the work in that myself. So I'm going to take a part in this car's future history.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's a real honour to be working on this car and to become part of it. So it's fantastic.
Now there's a big toy in here. What are they called? Whatever. Okay, so it's a little bit like when they used to have broken ships. They used to